Hello, I'm Sokol. I'm going to be going over the DX6i. Alright, this side we have the throttle or collective. We have rudder or pedals. Over here there's the cyclic. We have known as pitch or elevator. We have roll or aileron. Alright, we've got trim switches on and off. At the top here in the back we got the trainer switch, flight mode switch. This is the elevator dual rate, flap gyro, cutoff. We have the aileron dual rate, rudder dual rate, and here in the back we have throttle hold. Alright, now the main part we're going to go over is the menus. Alright, we've got trim settings. This is a helicopter, obviously. Here is the timer. There's the model name and the voltage of your battery and battery reading. Alright, we got the adjust list. Model select. If you have more than one model, you go in there and select which one you're using. Right, we're going to go over the dual rate menu. Here we have what axis it is. This here, all this means is which switch position. Each one can have two different switch positions. If I go up here and I move the elevator switch position down to 1, you can see that moved to 1. Alright, move it back there. Alright, what this part means is how much of the actual servo movement you want. If you only want 20%, you're only going to get about that much. 100% full up, full down, both directions. Alright, in that certain axis. So, if you move the stick all the way left and all the way right, how much percent of that servo move do you want? Do you want all the way left, you're only going to get 20% of actual servo movement. Alright, now this column here, this is the exponential. What that means is it desensitizes the center of the stick here. If you change it to 20, that means 20% of your center stick is going to be at a different ratio. It's going to be, for every 1, it only moves a half, or for every 2 clicks, it's only going to move 1. To that effect. So a lot of people like to, change this here to 20-25% to help them in a hover. Don't exactly suggest moving any of these, but if you want to, calm the bird down, you can also just put in 80%. That way you don't get the full 100% movement, and it'll still help you in case you get an emergency. You can still pull out of it. Rudder, what I like to do is I like to add sensitivity to my rudder. It's just the way I work. But you can also desensitize your rudder from right here. I wouldn't mess with here for your rudder. Just use your exponentials for that. Alright, let's go to travel adjust. Alright, here's your travel adjust menu. It has for each one of the servos. As you can see, there's 3 here, 3 here. That makes 6 channels. Alright, now most of these are pretty self-explanatory. Throttle. Now if you take the stick, you move it down, see that arrow moved. Alright, so each position has a percent. 0% is actually center. So when you want to adjust, say you want to adjust the downside, you have to actually move the controls until that arrow flips down. Now in the aileron and elevator side, you actually have to hold it. If you watch that aileron right there, see? Right, left, right, left. Right? So when you want to adjust either side of them, you actually have to hold it in that direction and then adjust. Okay? Either side. Same with elevator. See? Up and down. Gyro, I would leave it 100. Make sure it's 100 up and 100 down. Now, pitch is the only one that's going to throw you off. As you can see, there's an up and down arrow, which is kind of trying to tell you that it's linked in with the throttle. If you look, I'll move the throttle here. you could see the pitch servo move up and down with throttle, but it has nothing to do with the throttle. This is actually the pitch servo. As you know, one side of your aircraft or helicopter has ailerons on the left, and then your pitch servo is on the right. That's actually controlling the pitch servo. Alright? Not pitch as in up and down pitch of the rotor system. It's actually the pitch servo, ATV, or travel adjustment. Okay? Let's see here. Get back out. Alright, sub trim. All sub trim does is help you get the servo, if it's just a tad bit off and it's off from 90 and you want it to get exactly 90, you just add some travel adjustment or sub trim. My bad. Alright, now rudder, you don't want any here. Just get it as close as possible as you can on the actual servo and just put none here. This actually causes problems with your gyro. I know it doesn't sound right, but I've tried, and all it does is sometimes it gives back like a little, like you'll turn the servo and it'll stop, but it'll give you like this little bounce effect because the servo is trying to read sub trim and the gyro. Just leave this 0. Also gyro, don't put nothing in there. Alright. Now here's the gyro menu. Now the rate, each one of these means each position. If you notice, there's little zeros and a 1. So it's a position. In the 0 position, you get that rate. In the 1 position, you'll get that rate. So what you want, for me, I have the 401. So I leave this bottom one at a number below 50 in rate mode. That way, if I feel like the servo is no longer centered, I do the switch flip, and that way the gyro will remember where center was. Alright? For gyro, for your heli, what you want to do is you want to put this rate up as high as possible to the point that the tail no longer does this. It holds. As soon as the tail does this, just start going down a little half click at a time, and then you'll see it stop, and that will be your setting. Now in idle up mode or stunt mode, you're going to have a different value because the servo will actually, or the gyro will really have to work a little less. So you may have a different setting. For me, I'm always up in stunt mode, so 68 is where mine sits. Alright, now over here, the switch, you can actually change your 2 settings here depending on your switch, and you can change it to your throttle. So instead of it being that switch there, in normal mode you'll have one setting, in stunt mode you'll have another setting. That's another thought you could do. For me,